The British coins produced during the First World War were carried in the pockets of soldiers fighting on the front line. They made up the pay packets of factory workers and bought the supplies needed to fight the war and keep the home fires burning. As we hold these coins in our hands today, they provide us with a very real connection to the hands that once held them during a pivotal moment in our history. Here are 5 facts that you might not know about the 3 bronze coins produced in Britain during the First World War. Number 1. The King's portrait was designed by a competition winner. When George V became king in 1910, the Royal Mint did not have a chief engraver on the payroll to create his official coin portrait. So they held a design competition to find out who would receive the coveted commission. It was won by an Australian sculptor, Edgar Bertram McKennell, and his iconic design of the bearded monarch appeared not just on the bronze coins, but on the British silver coins, gold coins and stamps too. George V must have been pleased with his portrait because he later gave McKennell a knighthood for his services, and you could spot the artist's initials, BM, on the neck of the King's coin portrait. Number 2. Britannia was a lifesaver. The 3 bronze coins, the farthing, the halfpenny and the penny, all bore an image of Britannia, the female personification of Britain. She first appeared on Roman coins during Emperor Hadrian's reign over 1,900 years ago, and she reappeared on farthings and halfpennies in 1672 when King Charles II sat on the throne. Over the years, her image had evolved into a warrior queen with a Corinthian helmet, long trident, and a shield patriotically emblazoned with the Union flag. During the First World War, the British Navy was the largest in the world, and so Britannia's presence as the guardian of the seas provided welcome reassurance that the country was well defended. Some soldiers carried her coins in their pockets as a good luck charm, and for Private John Trickett, carrying Britannia so close to his heart saved his life when an enemy bullet fired at his chest ricocheted off the penny instead of killing him. He survived the war, and his battered penny is now a treasured family heirloom. Number 3. Acid was used to deliberately darken farthings before they reached the public. It's usually very easy to spot a new coin in your change because it looks bright and shiny. But did you know that the mint once had to deliberately stain Britain's lowest value coin before it reached the public? The small bronze farthing, worth 1/4 of a penny, was the same size as the gold half sovereign worth 120 pennies. That meant that 1 gold half sovereign was worth 480 bronze farthings. And some enterprising Victorian fraudsters saw the opportunity to pass off bright, shiny new farthings as the similarly sized gold half sovereigns to their unsuspecting victims. So, in 1897, the Mint introduced a plan to make sure that they always looked different. As soon as the new farthings rolled off the coin presses, they were dunked in a specially prepared acid bath to remove their shiny appearance and make them look darker. The Mint only stopped doing this in 1917 when gold half sovereigns were removed from circulation to help pay Britain's escalating war debts. Number 4. A ghostly image haunted the Mint. Halfpennies and pennies struck during George V's reign can sometimes display a peculiar characteristic where the outline of the king's head can be visible on the reverse side around Britannia. The effect is called ghosting, but there isn't anything supernatural about it. It happens when the metal is struck deeply on one side but has a shallow, flatter design on the other. The Mint tried several solutions to solve the problem, which included slightly reducing the size of the King's portrait in 1928. Few people noticed the difference. Number 5. Pennies were struck in Birmingham to meet demand. During King George V's reign, there was a national shortage of pennies. The Royal Mint in London couldn't keep up with demand, and so they asked 2 private mints operating in Birmingham to help them. Ralph Heaton and Sons had struck coins before, from 1853 to 1856, and they did so again. But this time they added a small H next to the year, so that pennies struck at Heaton in 1912, 1918 and 1919 could be identified. In 1889, Thomas Richard Bayliss founded the King's Norton Metal Company, also based in Birmingham. The company manufactured military equipment, but between 1918 and 1919 they also struck pennies to help rectify the supply shortage. The small mint mark KN appears next to the year to distinguish their coins from those produced in London and at Heaton Mint. So if you've got a penny dated 1912, 1918 or 1919, you can check it to see where it was struck. If you can't see an H or a KN next to the date, it means that your coin was struck in London, which didn't use a mint mark.